Bad boy.
You've tuned in live to the flyest sports and entertainment podcast in all the land. This is Stat Lines Matter. I am your host, as always, Mr. Mark E. Stewart, and I'm sitting here with my co-host and my partner, Mr. Rob Hunter Jr.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what time you guys are listening to this.
What's going on with you, brother?
Man, what's happening?
How was your weekend? I know it was crazy. I'm asking you anyway. You got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, just between AAU, driving all over Tarnation, going to Emerson, Georgia, to Sandy Springs, to all over the place. For those
Emerson, Georgia sounds like you're not welcome.
That's where Lake Point is. So Lake Point.
Are you welcome there, or does it feel like
you are welcome to
Marjorie
go to
Taylor Greene country?
It is. But you're welcome to go to Lake Point, which is the sports complex, and you're welcome to get right back on 75, which is like.
So you're welcome to go in and out.
Yeah, that's
no
it.
Stops.
That's it.
Don't stop at the Bojangles.
They're very used to seeing minorities enter the basketball gymnasium where there are 11 indoor courts. So they're used to that, nice. And they're fine with that. They have and then the gas station's right next to it, so they're fine because they know colors got a gas.
Then they call them filling stations out that way. It's a filling station.
Yeah, and they're more than hey, gas. Make sure you fill it all the way up and get the hell on out of here. And then there's a baseball complex.
Oh, nice.
That's part of it too. They got a bunch of nice fields over there.
I wonder what would make them
That's where the perfect game tournament is played.
Oh, okay. Perfect game plays at tournaments there. Yeah. Nice. I wonder what would make them go to a place like that. It's it sounds remote.
I mean, maybe I have no idea. Maybe it's just how much land you need,
right?
And the price.
Yeah.
And then also it's up 75, right? So it's actually close because it's not. They have tournaments there, but they're not really local tournaments. You got teams coming from Tennessee. You got teams coming from South Carolina. You got teams coming from basically all over, and sometimes all over the United States, but all over the Southeast.
Yeah.
So maybe they were thinking, close proximity to some of the other Southern states. But yeah. So and I'm moving. So
yeah,
there's that. So it's been getting.
You're moving the kids, the wife, kids, and the in-laws.
Got down about it. It feels very. It's a little bit overwhelming for sure. But,
I can understand.
But we making it do what it do.
And you shooting a world-renowned, internationally known podcast.
Yes. On top of that, yes, we are shooting a world-renowned. What they call it? Syndicatable. Also syndicatable podcast show. Yes.
Who knew? We syndicatable.
Yeah. Oh, you know that. Hey, and look, anybody that's got syndication powers out there, we are very syndicatable.
Our syndication rights are for sale. Now, I had an interesting weekend. I binge watched like about 4 or 5 episodes of the I forget what it's called, the Lakers show on
You
HBO
still ain't
Max.
watched. I thought you was gonna say Game of Thrones. You still ain't watched.
I'm never watching that.
You said you was gonna watch it.
I was lying. I'm not gonna watch that,
bro. You got to give Game of Thrones 5 episodes.
What you got to do is get caught up on this Magic Johnson Lakers show on HBO.
Okay, Max. Scale of 1 to 10.
Solid 8.
Is it better than Succession?
No, I give that a 9. I give this 8.
Okay, all right.
You got to see it because I say the difference being is like it's real. It's obviously I'm sure they're taking some liberties, but it's real people.
That dude looked like Magic.
No, like Kareem. There's a guy who plays Kareem. Guy who plays Pat Riley, Paul Weston. Like all these guys that and things that I experienced as a fan are sort of you're giving you the behind the scenes. So it's really dope. So I caught up. I was like probably 4 or 5 episodes back on that. I caught up on that, and then the other thing I watched was the full documentary it's like a 4-part series on Magic Johnson. The Magic Johnson on it.
Oh, that's
Apple
on
Plus.
Apple.
Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really?
Fantastic. Oh, man. You forget how great Magic was.
Well,
Magic has had a life.
Oh yeah. And which part is better? The playing or the post?
It's all of it.
I mean, because he's part owner of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Obviously had, great business success and on court success.
It gets into
5
all
championships.
of that. It gets into all of that.
Great wife.
Here, it's a lot there. And I don't want to spoil it because it's new. So I'm not going to give you any details. But I will say, go now. If this was if we 4 months from now and you still haven't seen it, then maybe we're going to come on and say stuff. But right now it's still pretty new. It gets into all of it. This, the relationship with him and Cookie, his early days with the Lakers, obviously the business stuff, and then the HIV period.
Yeah, they say he used to use those side rooms before the games.
Unbelievable stuff in here.
Did they cover that?
He talks about. Not in detail. Like it's not salacious. It's not unnecessarily. He had to green light
it, so that part.
Yeah. It's not like he didn't get because his kids are in it. He was only gonna go so far with the.
I did have my times and extracurricular activities.
Well, he did. He said
with the young ladies.
I think at the time he was quoted saying he liked to facilitate. Anytime you facilitating for women, he wanted to facilitate.
There was
women's
one
fantasies.
interview back when this first happened, when he first announced. He said sometimes I like 2 women's, sometimes I had like 3 women's at a time, and it got to be 4 one time.
He said 6.
6?
Yeah. Because they put the clip. The clip is in the documentary.
Hey!
And he smiled. Then he smiled. He's literally sitting at the time dealing with HIV at a time when we thought it was a death sentence.
And he said,
and he was like, 6 women.
Hey,
like it's magic, baby.
He earned his HIV. He earned it.
He got down, and I don't want to give any away
because it's whack. Because most people out here catching it with just 1. He's like, I got mine with 6, player. I mean, at least like if you're gonna catch it, that's the way you want to get that thing.
I'm not gonna give nothing away. Go watch it. Definitely go watch it.
Because it would suck to get it with just 1. Like if you had I had 5, then 6. Like 6, like okay, you earned it, player. You earned that.
Yeah. I mean, that was at once.
With the no rubber.
I don't know if is it funny?
No, is it? I'm just saying, like you know how wild you gotta be. I mean, it's like it's real pumps in the bump. Like it's real. Like you just doing the video. Like I am the inspiration for pumps in the bump.
Yeah, because
I was pumping in every bump.
Yeah, he was a wild boy. But
that's funny. Is that funny? Is this?
Well, because we're still talking about HIV here.
Yeah, I'm just saying. No, I mean to be like, all right, I'm finna smash all of y'all raw dog.
Well, yeah, because he didn't know. He didn't know that he was HIV.
And then if you imagine, you got to think like, I'm good.
Yeah, no, listen, man. It was
I'm invincible.
When you follow this in succession, because obviously we as the consumer, we're watching it play out. Like I was in Chicago at the time. I hadn't moved to LA. I was just about to move to LA. But watching all this play out and then knowing the timing and then knowing how it happened behind the scenes, unbelievable stuff.
So you remember where you were when you heard?
I remember exactly where I was.
Okay, so I'm at football practice, right? I'm in the 9th grade. I'm at football practice. And like was one of the all white coaching staff. And they're all country, like, they would vote for David Duke if they could for president. And a coach comes up to me, one of the assistants, he's like, hey, you heard about what happened to Michael? And I said, no, what? He didn't come down. He got that, he got AIDS. I said, Michael who? Jackson. He said, Michael Jackson got AIDS. And I said, what? Michael Jackson? He said, yep, they just announced it. Michael Jackson.
It's all the same to him. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Reggie Jackson.
I'm all through football practice thinking.
Billy Jackson.
Because, you can't go to your phone. You can't, there's no, internet is not.
No, yeah, like you had to wait.
Yeah, I had to wait till I got home and I was like, it's Magic Johnson. It's not Michael Jackson. He said, yeah, you heard about it. Ain't no, Michael got AIDS. He said HIV.
Was he happy? He seemed like the way you're representing it, he was thrilled by it.
I think he was probably more just intrigued or man, I don't know if intrigued the word, but definitely kind of like just surprised. Like, man, Michael got AIDS. I said, who Michael who? He said Michael Jackson. He didn't come down with the AIDS.
He doesn't come down. Wow. But anyway, I'll suggest that you catch up on that as soon as you guys get settled in the new house. Put that up.
Yes.
That.
Oh, well. So, and we're joining the ranks because my wife has vowed to not get the DirecTV back once we move into the spot. She's using this as her time to break ties.
Well, how are you going to deal with the football season? Because they still have.
I'm got to figure out. I'm going to do whatever you do.
From what I've read, they only have one more year.
I'm gonna do whatever you do. That's what I'm doing. What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm still wired.
Oh, you're still wired.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Like I told him, I'm gonna turn mine off till August.
Oh, okay. So I'm not. You're not gonna have me over.
You can suspend the thing.
Did you get rid of your TVs?
No.
So then, I mean, what?
Everything's still here.
Come over here.
I mean, that's possible. We can negotiate that.
I mean,
you wild, man. We watch different now. Like, I'm much more calm, and I'm used to being alone.
I'm way more calm now.
You calmer? No, you're calmer than you used to be.
I don't have a team, so now it's just great
team.
play. Oh wow,
this I don't have a team stuff. Like,
I don't have a team, but I do have a dream.
Not born and raised. You've been in Atlanta since you were 7.
If they draft Malik Willis, I hop back on.
You play daily fantasy.
Yeah.
That's your team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Clearly, that's how I set up my TVs, the whole thing. So, yeah, I'm not, bro. Like, I have the only time I yell is when something bad happens in fantasy. Other than that,
you're gonna have to talk to Marie.
About what?
Getting your DirecTV back.
No, I'm coming over here.
But I be closed some days. Like, some days I don't be open for business.
I need to open. No, I don't need no business.
No, you do need business. This ain't no.
And I come around the side.
This ain't Jocks and Jills.
I bring my own wares. Bring my own bottle. Come in here with my own hiss.
You better talk to. Sounds like you done lost the war on terror in your own crib.
Nah, man. There's probably a little bit of that as well. I can't lie, but I'm setting my TVs back up. I mean,
yeah.
So.
Well, but how you gonna do it?
I don't know. I'm. This is uncharted territory. Yeah. I thought you were gonna give me a play. But I don't know yet. But you're gonna. I
have to talk to my AV guy because I don't know once it goes that way. I don't know how to do.
You know, it would be cool if Sessions was open. We could just go down there.
Well, we are going to be set up for that. But then Trick's got a whole other monetization plan for Sessions.
But he's going to be watching the games over here or down there, or are you back and forth?
He's saying he's going to go over there.
Okay.
Because we're setting it up where we have 4 on the big, at antennas they have the big digital.
Yeah, they had the hologram TV.
Yeah, we're gonna have that.
Yeah,
where you can split it in 4, and then there'll be 3 behind the bar.
Okay, yeah,
we'll have 7 games.
So I'll figure out something between you and him and then
you taking a lot in your hands. Like
I am, man.
You taking a lot more in your hands than I would.
Because I'm gonna need y'all, man. I'm really going. I'm telling you now. I'm putting because
you know me, man. I'm old school. You'll be outside ringing the bell, and you'll see and hear people, and they'll be like, don't go to the door." I'm that guy.
I'll be calling you. I know you're in there.
I know you're in there. I can see the TVs. Anyways, we got to talk a little bit about the NBA. I hadn't intended to. We were going to devote this episode completely to the NFL draft, which is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
Yes.
Tuesday?
We're putting this out Wednesday, so it'll be tomorrow.
So for the purposes of TV and production.
For production purposes, it's tomorrow.
Yes. I was like, damn, Tuesday. Okay.
But I'm going to talk about the NBA pretty quickly because I wasn't going to get into this, but I also didn't think that Brooklyn, how can I put this? Brooklyn's embarrassing. I've never been on the Brooklyn train.
You were the conductor.
Can I finish?
Go right ahead.
Loudmouth.
Choo. Where's your ticket?
I've never been a New Jersey Nets, Brooklyn Nets fan. I've been a Kevin Durant supporter and supporter of all things Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant said that he could win a championship with Kyrie and Harden, and I supported him in that. But let me say this. Kevin Durant is about to get me completely off the train. I can't even express how disappointed I am in Kevin. To me, because I can come on here before in our last episode or 2 episodes ago, we talked about why I didn't think they were going to win. I hoped that they would win, but I didn't think they were going to win because I don't think Nash can coach himself out of a paper bag, and I think that's been true. Boston had a great defensive game plan for Kevin Durant. They've shut him down, and there's been no adjustments made. That aside, there's no excuse for Kevin. You have to eat this L. Your legacy has taken a hit. I come on here and I talk shit about LeBron James all the time. I talk about his legacy. I talk about when he's not played well, and I choose to emphasize that. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and not do the same for Kevin Durant. This is your responsibility. I know you don't care about me in our little podcast, but you're responsible for this. You ask nothing of your teammates. You ask nothing of your coach. I'd tell you where the difference is. At least LeBron, in error many times, will get a coach moved. He'll get players moved until he feels that he's got the right chemistry to do whatever he needs to do. Right, wrong, or indifferent, he is using his weight to try to do what he believes is helping his team. What are you doing, Kevin, with your weight? You had Kyrie sit out almost every game. You never pulled up that we know of and said, you need to get the shot. We need you out here. We're slipping. We're 7th. The reason you're out of the tournament right now is because you were 7th playing a team you shouldn't even be playing. You should be playing the Bulls or somebody right now. You've not asked the coach. You've not gotten on the coach. You've not gotten on your teammates. You've not called out Harden. You're still cool with Harden. How you be cool with a guy who bailed on you in the middle of a championship run? At what point do you stand up and start acting like a superstar? That's what I have to say. This is on Kevin, and I'm off the Kevin train, and I might be back on next October, but right now I'm off the Kevin train.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the stat lines, the low volume of shots in particular, in game 2. I think it was. What did he shoot, like 11 shots? Or
he hasn't really gone. I think he had 19 shots the first game, but that.
Yeah.
And he should have more. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that, obviously everyone's seeing the lack of, the lack of assertiveness, seemingly. At least because Kyrie, I mean, he's mercurial, but he's shooting the ball. He was 7 for 9, 0 for 7 from 3, I believe, last game. So he's shooting the basketball. He's doing what Kyrie's always done. And you're looking at to be down 3-0, and obviously the thing that I always thought was, I thought they were, when they first joined, I said there's a lack of leadership there. That was the first thing, and the second thing I talked about was where's the defense going to come from, and I think that now, so you have that makeup of a team, and a first year coach. Steve Nash hadn't coached on any level.
Second year.
I'm talking about before the Nets, and then you have a terrible first round matchup in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost the same thing that's going on with the Hawks in a terrible first round matchup with the Heat. Yeah. I mean, because these are two defensive teams, and you got
Boston's
guys
the number one defensive team.
Kyle
in the league, right?
Lowry, who was hurt yesterday, and they blew out the Hawks. And then in Marcus Smart, these guys are both hard nosed defenders. They get in your head. They're making you come out of your character. They're making you give up cheap fouls and technicals, and they're just so they're doing they are built for the playoffs. Both of those squads, and I believe what you're saying, you go, well, at least the Hawks won one game. I mean, they did, and I think the thing that's so disappointing with Brooklyn is they ain't even won a game. Now they were in some games, but
they were in all the games,
but not finding a way to 3-0, you're on the verge of being swept.
Yeah.
Which I hope don't happen, just because I want to see more. I mean, I like watching Kevin Durant and Kyrie play, and
But do you watch you like to watch this version of them?
Well,
I don't.
Well, I'm hoping that they rise, right? Like, I mean, so when I say I like watching them play, obviously it's not.
I did it in the regular season, and I did the 9 times they played together during the regular season.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we get like some buck.
Well, here's the thing. Talk about buck brings me to my next thing.
Man, what about the job that Boston's coach is doing?
Okay. So all right, I was going to say something else, but let's address that. Completely outcoaching Nash.
The Nigerian homie
came with the defensive plan to negate, like, Brooklyn likes to get the ball in the middle of the floor. Whether it's Kevin Durant, he sort of gets it at the post, and then he can maneuver, or he can drive and kick, or they'll do that with Bruce Brown. They're clamping the middle.
Yes, they are. Forcing the ball out.
And they're forcing the ball out and effectively taking the best player that Brooklyn has out of the natural flow of the offense. But there's been no adjustment made. There's no play that's drawn up. There's nothing that they're not putting Kevin Durant someplace else and saying, okay, double team me here, and then now y'all adjust to me. Like, even just put him in a post. See how he plays in the post. Like, get the ball to him on a low block. Make them bring that double team and decide where that double team is going to come from. And we know Kevin's a very good passer, so he can have him go from there. They've literally not made that adjustment from what I can see.
He's a terrific post player, too.
Yeah.
Terrific.
I know he doesn't prefer to be on the block.
Man, that turnaround jumper he got is up there with any.
But he likes it top of the key or top of the key left or right.
Yeah,
like, that's
does,
his spot.
But, I mean, his back to the basket. And
he's got it all. And the fact that the coach can't, and I had somebody tell me, this would never happen to Mike or Kobe or LeBron. And I said, listen, the one thing you got to understand, particularly with Kobe and Mike, they were great players, but they also played for the greatest coach. Like their coach could coach them out of bad situations and into good situations as a team. Like obviously their skill set is going to get you certain things, but you still got to put guys in position to get things done. And Phil Jackson and the staff, Johnny Bach and Tex Winters and all those guys, they could X and O you.
Especially
with that
Tex.
skill. Yeah, with that skill set.
That clipboard in his hand.
Yeah.
Man,
there is no ability for Steve Nash to X and O you. Like no one's spinning him. And I said this on the last thing. He makes them 4 games worse a season. Like if you could get your coach to make you 2 or 3 games better just on X and O's, he actually taking you the other way.
I guess
he's losing.
And I guess
games.
we're seeing a little bit of what Harden was one of his reported gripes was Nash. I mean, you looked at even last game. I was like, that's Blake Griffin out there, like to close the game out. You looking at, and he hadn't played any minutes.
He hadn't played, and that's the things that, and like,
it's like it was so random.
Now you want to try
2 threes,
and then if you want to try that, try it early in the game so you can go, okay, I'm going to mix it up. But let me not take, because I am making the argument because I made it before the series about Nash, but I don't want to take the emphasis off of the fact that this is on Kevin Durant.
Well,
this goes on your resume, bro. Like I'm on here all the time talking about you are what your resume says you are. This is on you, bro.
But okay, all right. So can we just talk about for a brief second?
Yeah, man, break it down.
Ben Simmons fit with the Prince Purple Rain circle shades on the side. Hey, Ben Simmons looked like he wanted a Revolution's kids. Like one of them in the band. Like he's one of their kids, bro. Like,
I'm trying to think which one though. Cat?
Man, hey.
Like if Cat had but Cat wasn't a Revolution. He was the new power generation.
Dez Dickerson, maybe.
Wow, you went back.
Because
Dez only stayed in the band a hot second.
Yeah. He was like 2 albums, I think.
If that. Did Dez really did he tour?
Bobby Z?
Yeah. It's Bobby Z's mixed kid.
He looked like Bobby Z's mixed kid.
That's hilarious, bro.
Like his fit.
We are deep in the Prince crates right now. We are naming band members from the first band. No, listen, Ben. So okay.
Why your back hurt? You ain't played.
No, but there was all this announcement. Ben's gonna play Game 4, and now they're like, oh, Ben's not gonna play.
And what about the epidural? Like I know women have babies off that thing.
Listen,
I know it's gotta work.
I know this.
You need to get shot up with the epidural.
I don't care what you got. Like what happened to the days? And I always say I don't like to be that, the old guy. Back in my day, we used to blah blah blah, but. Like I've watched Magic get out there when he had the knee or the thigh contusion or whatever and wrap up and play. We watch Isaiah, turn the ankle and get out there and play and give you all you got. I mean, Willis Reed even, Willis Reed, and this is even before my time. We've seen the video though, him coming out the locker room, crowd blowing up. He had 4 points that year.
He did. But they say that was the moment. It was the moment. I didn't see it live, but it was. Yeah. It looks exciting.
It looked super lit. Like
what about Paul Pierce?
Paul Pierce got carted off. Still one of the funniest things. How you get carted off and then come back like 9 real minutes later? Carted off means I'm half dead.
At least for the day.
Yeah, I'm dead for the day. Like
for the day,
I might because sometimes when you really hurt, they take you to the hospital in your clothes, in your uniform.
They cut his jersey off.
They cut his jersey off. You know how like in NFL they'll take your mask, they'll unscrew your mask off your thing. They were basically the equivalent of unscrewing his mask for the NBA. They carried him out, and then he comes out the locker room like Willis Reed.
Yeah, that was, and they won.
And they won the game.
And they won.
Where is that for Ben, man? This is a sad thing. And again, Ben is lame, but I blame KD.
No, it's KD, but I just was looking at his fit like the other day. I was like, yo.
No, his fit in every game.
It looked like he know how to work Pro Tools.
Did you see his chain? Like, it was like 2 games ago. It's like, how many hundreds of millions of dollars in diamonds is that?
Yeah, and then he filed a grievance against Philly to get paid like $20 million or whatever it was.
Look, I know it's cliche, and we hear about it in football all the time, especially at this time of year when we're about to do the draft. And they go, they want to ask it, do you love the game? Do you love the game? I don't think Ben loves the game.
Well, and Stephen A made this point. he quit on. Look like I can't. You can't necessarily say he quit on the Nets because they got him.
He never, and then, they got him damaged.
But I guess he theoretically quit on Philly. And he quit on LSU, and I forgot about that.
No, I never did. I always said the reason that I couldn't. I mean, you used to argue because you was a Ben guy. You used to.
Me?
I'm not saying. Well, you didn't argue for Ben.
I ain't even really
as a person, but you were like, "Oh, Ben's a great player."
I watched 2 games. Oh, you're talking about when he was with Philly.
Yeah, I'm talking about when he was with Philly. But my argument to you was, I said I never signed on for Ben because when you're a top player,
I didn't know he was going to have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, but when you're a top player and you can't get a college team to the tournament.
Yo, that was your point.
And I was like, I'm just saying, I'm looking at that.
Yeah. But 15, I think, whatever it was, he's averaging 15, 8, and 8. And I was like, that translates. And if they can get that, if they can get, I just didn't know he was going to have a mental breakdown.
But here's the thing. I don't know if he had a mental breakdown. Like,
that's mental breakdown.
He always been this guy.
No, not playing at all. At all. Like I said, there's been whole children that weren't on the earth that are on the earth now since the last time he played. Like there are people alive.
To me, the issues with
the birth cycle. We're entering a whole nother birthing cycle.
No,
it's gonna be 2 birthing. It's gonna be 18 months before he didn't play.
I am not here to question whether the man is injured or not, but I am. The thing that I think any athlete, whether you strapped up for high school, college.
How you hurt and you ain't been playing? You wasn't hurt when you
I don't know. Like,
when you left the game.
You can get hurt
against the Hawks. You wasn't hurt.
But you can get hurt training.
You can get hurt.
You can get hurt in practice. I don't know. I can't tell him, man. I ain't seen his medical reports on his back. What I am saying, though, is if you want to help your team and you're like telling the reporters, look at this, get this. Like, I don't know if you saw that. He's like telling the reporter, like, make sure you get this, and it's him dunking in practice.
Nah, I haven't seen like Zion style.
No, not like that. That was explosive. This was like big dude dunking. But if you 50%,
give me the 50.
Give me what you got, bro.
Give me the 50. I think, and I also
give me
think
what you got. Like, seriously, give me what you got.
Okay. So a perfect example of that, right? We just saw it this weekend. Robert Williams. Meniscus surgery. Was it meniscus? Torn meniscus. Supposed to be out 6 weeks. Come back 3. Played 15 or 17 minutes.
He gave you what he could.
But what he did was he played defense. He's the best defensive center in the league, efficiency rating wise. Yeah. He's got the best number. And I watched him man the middle of that court. What a different man. You want to talk about a top flight rim protector. This dude was just, he moves his feet like a guard.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he gave you
what he could.
And then went in and sat down, caught an alley-oop, I'm going to go sit down now.
And then, what's his name? Thies, whatever.
Daniel Thies
or whatever, however you say his name.
Grant Williams are the guys who come in.
And then the guy, and I think that energized the other guy who comes in and is giving you what he has. Like,
yes,
we're at that time of year where, and we were talking about this a little bit before we started rolling, that every possession in the playoffs matters on each end of the court. Every stop you get has added meaning. Every 3 you hit has added meaning. Every missed layup, every missed foul shot, because these games come down to key possessions in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Even in games where the final outcome might be 8, 9, 10 points difference, during the core of the game, you're in striking distance.
Who said it? Was it Draymond or was it Kyle? Everybody not built
for this.
Who
playoff.
said that?
Draymond
said that. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which guy.
No,
and
Draymond said
is
that.
True.
It's a whole nother game.
To piggyback off of your point, every possession.
Yes.
It's like it's a different deal. It's the NFL playoffs and the NBA. It's just totally different.
And that's why even when we went back earlier in the year, and I want to say goodnight to my Bulls, who I think will be out of this tournament in another day or so. But it's why I said they couldn't win, is because in the NBA, the Bulls are 5 months off of a teardown and a rebuild. There was no way, and you had a team where almost everybody on the team had never been in the playoffs before. Even Zach had never been in the playoffs. Only couple guys like DeMar. DeMar's been in the playoffs.
Vooch in the playoffs,
but I don't think Vooch has been in the playoffs. Like, most of these guys are young and had been on bad teams.
Caruso
had been in the playoffs,
championship, right?
But and all of that. But as a unit, they had to learn, and we're 5-6 months into
but I'm going to maintain if Lonzo's playing, I think that things are different.
Yeah, like maybe we go 4-2.
No way. I think y'all got a chance to beat them.
Well,
I think y'all got
here's
a chance
what I
to
will
beat
say.
them.
I think that if Lonzo doesn't get hurt, we actually finish in the top 3 because we were
you were number 1, I think, for a second.
Number 1 for like half the season.
Yeah, so and I think and also so we're talking about defense, right?
Yeah.
But we're also talking about his shot making ability from deep.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball,
and that's
was
hands down our best 3-point shooter,
and that's real.
Yeah.
And before we started rolling, we were talking about how much the 3 has changed the game, and we're not saying anything that most of you guys listening don't already know or watching. But you miss your best perimeter defender, probably him, and you want to argue
Caruso.
Alex,
yeah.
And obviously a true point guard, a guy that can facilitate, and a guy that can, and if he's open, he can knock down that 3, and he's long. So
yeah,
I've liked Lonzo ever since he was with the Lakers.
Yeah,
no S, the Lakers.
Yeah, no, Lonzo brings the one thing that we missed the most with Lonzo when he left is he gets you in so many easy baskets because his dad, who was a Magic Johnson fan and made him a Magic Johnson fan, made him understand the importance of pushing the ball via the pass, get the ball up the court, get an easy basket in transition. All that went away when he left because people don't really do it.
The ball sticks.
The ball sticks.
Yeah.
He would get us in about 10, 12 easy buckets or 10, 12 easy points, 6 buckets a game.
Well, because not only that, but it also increases defensive fouls.
Yep.
So it's
you got a lot of times they'll do that. They'll take the to stop the break.
Kyrie
had a dumb one.
Yeah,
and it's so funny. Even before Gundy said it, I was like, why would you take that foul there? Like, it's early. It's like the score is 14-11. Give him the bucket.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Just because they're in transition doesn't mean they're going to convert. Now, if a guy's on a straight up breakaway, it's you and him, and you're the last person, then take the foul. But you had a guy or two rotating back. You stopped the break for 2 points, and now you have an extra foul, and that changes. It's like, think, bro.
And it was early in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was early.
So you're talking about picking up, foul 1 and 8 at the 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark, whatever it was.
But you know what? I blame that on coaching.
But you got Kyrie been in the league almost a decade. You don't know no better than that.
But when you're playing the game,
like, I'm not taking that foul. At some point, you got to have some awareness.
Facts. But what you do say, what good coaches do, is good coaches are there to remind you of things that you already know.
Well, you can't. I was talking about that yesterday at the gym. Mm-hmm. Just that you would see some staffs just quiet. And what I noticed about, my son's high school staff is they're never quiet.
Right.
They're coaching the back line of the defense. They're coaching whatever they're doing. They have 3 of them, and they're constantly talking. If not to the guys on the floor, they're talking to the guys on the bench. Mm-hmm. But there's never ever a moment where there's any silence. It's constantly coaching every single possession, every single part of the game. If they're passing the ball, rotate this way, backside. They're constantly moving guys around.
And they're just gentle reminders.
And you see them coaching them into wins.
Yes. And if you're a aware player, it's just a reminder. Because if you've ever been on a court and there's a crowd and there's the organ playing and there's music, it's a lot of things going on. Sometimes it's a little bit, hey, do this, do that. Just a quick reminder, and it helps you refocus. But there's a real problem in Brooklyn. I hope they address it because I'd like to see Kevin Durant get his career and legacy back on track. But I will tell you before we close this segment.
If he go play with LeBron, are you still going to have the same want?
Please, God, no. Please, God, no. No. But I don't even want to have to. That's a nightmare for me. You just freak me out. I will say this, though. You got to get this on track, bro. Like, this is on your sheet. This is on your resume. This is the worst possible scenario that could happen to you. It's almost, in a weird way, almost a bigger story than LeBron not making the playoffs. Honestly, I think you're catching all types of heat, and you deserve it. And it deserves to go all through the offseason. And it's a bigger story because LeBron's 37, going to be 38, and he's at the end of his career. You are still very much in the middle of your thing. And my issue is not so much your play. Anybody can have a bad series. Anybody can shoot the ball bad. Maybe you quit. Maybe you didn't. What I have an issue with is your leadership to demand things from the coach, the front office, and the teammates. Where is that? You supposed to be a superstar. Where is that part of it? Because like I said, good, bad, or indifferent, LeBron is not sitting back letting things happen that he knows ain't right without saying nothing.
And now we're talking now. I've seen certain little scuttlebutt about is Tatum now surpassing Durant.
Yeah.
I've seen
Fair
that.
question.
I've seen that conversation on social media now.
I don't think one series does that, but it's fair.
But when you start exactly, and I agree with you. But when you now there's a little bit of smoke, and that's going to lead into next season.
Sure.
Seeing now, and if Boston mess around and they win the championship, that obviously that's just going to be that much more wood on that fire. So
100%, because you consider it as a Kevin Durant guy, I consider and go, oh, one season, but that man beat you straight up. Y'all played each other, and y'all was on the court at the same time, and like Teddy KGB, he beat you. Pay that man his money. He beat you straight up.
Straight up.
He
Kids got alligator blood.
Alligator blood. So let's take this opportunity to quickly talk about this NFL draft. I know both of us are big NFL guys, big draft guys. This is an interesting draft in this respect. There's no big quarterbacks. In fact, I actually think some mistakes are about to be made, because this is a year where there's legitimately not a first round, probably not even a second round. I don't think there's any quarterback on the board that should be taken before the third. Like, if that's where Russell Wilson went, none of these guys are projecting to be Russell Wilson. So we talking about quarterbacks fourth and back. But because quarterbacks are such a premium in the NFL, we're talking ourselves into Matt Corral and guys like that. And what's the guy at Cincinnati?
Desmond Ridder, like moving into the bottom of the first. Huge mistakes, in my opinion. The interesting thing about this draft, though, is we got top players that are defensive ends, wide receivers, offensive linemen, corners, to a lesser degree. Those are the hot positions, but because they're not the hot names, it has a little different sizzle on the draft. We usually like the quarterbacks. We like it when there's a guy. Mm-hmm. None of these guys are it. Is there any of these, let's just say this and get the quarterbacks out of the way. Is there any of the guys that are slated, Ridder, Pickett, Corral, or Malik Willis, that you think over time could project to be even a middling quarterback? Yeah, I mean, so when you sent over the topics for this.
When you forced me to do this show.
And I started thinking.
I felt you looking for the words.
Well, I was thinking about, obviously, the Falcons are in a position, so I'm hoping that we draft, a black quarterback. Just for those who know that I'm not racist, I wanted Matt Ryan. I championed for Matt Ryan when he was coming out.
I've always been a big Matt guy.
Huge since I saw him play.
And you still support him even
yes,
where
I'm rooting for him with the Colts.
Yeah.
I don't think that we supported him in the right way, but whatever. But I want Malik Willis. And the reasons that I want him is just because of the success that I've seen. Guys you just mentioned, Russell Wilson, obviously Kyler Murray. These are guys who are sub 6 feet. And Malik Willis, for all the liberty talk and lack of competition, he played well he plays 2 years at Auburn, but he still averaged, I believe, 16 yards a carry at Auburn. This is a guy who has obviously Power 5 Division I pedigree, and went to Liberty, a smaller level of competition, and did what you're supposed to do. He tore it up.
Yeah.
So you're talking about it. So I mean, for me, and we're talking about basically a scarcity mentality, right? So if there's not a lot of great quarterbacks just around, anytime something is scarce, it causes you to maybe press and
overvalue,
reach. Yeah. And so if he's there, I would like to see, first of all, his name is Malik Willis.
And his last name's Willis.
Yeah. And so you think about like, okay, so I like your extra black name.
Yeah.
It's up there with Lamar Jackson and Willie Green.
Yeah.
And so to be in that company just alone excites me. You have an extra black name, which means that because it ain't no slow Malik's walking around. And he's shown a high propensity to dip. He's shown an awareness to take it to the crib. And he's also shown a consistent ability to get somewhere, which are all things that the urban community embraces.
Dipping.
Yeah.
Get to the crib.
Yeah.
And get somewhere.
And ride out. He has tremendous ride out.
Whether he gets to the crib or not, Just get somewhere.
Ultimately, he needs shown just a consistency to do all three of those things.
Let me ask you this question.
It's very fan friendly for Atlanta.
On a serious note, because we talk about this a lot offline, but let's address it. How important is it for the city of Atlanta to have a black quarterback that they can embrace? I mean, I know it's like a taboo topic. People are uncomfortable talking about black quarterbacks and white quarterbacks and why we root for who we root for. Because I think as many white people root for white quarterbacks as black people root for black quarterbacks. I don't know why it breaks down that way. I like quarterbacks of all kinds, but I like to see black quarterbacks do well. But this city in particular seems to really, because of the Michael Vick thing, been longing for a guy that they could get behind. Because as well as Matt Ryan played, Matt Ryan had put up a Hall of Fame career here and was never embraced by the fans here.
Yeah. Obviously, I think for Matt Ryan, I just think it was basically the shoes that he was trying to fill. And what I mean by that is...
But even he proved himself, though.
No, he surpassed Mike Vick in spades.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. But it was just, I believe, what Mike meant to the city. And, you guys talk about, Chicago and what certain baseball players meant to the city. And obviously, Mike, we could take him out of the conversation because we obviously know, and you well documented what he meant to Chicago. And so when Michael Vick came to Atlanta, again, the Dome was never sold out. And I don't want to say never. We sold out the 99. I've talked about we sold out the 99 season the year after the Super Bowl. And it could have been
Chris Chandler years.
Chris Chandler year. We started selling out when we went 14-2, like midway during that run. But I'm talking about the Dome has been consistently sold out the moment we drafted Michael Vick. And I think that and then he delivered. Now, did he deliver a Super Bowl? No, but he delivered wins. He delivered back-to-back winning seasons. Although
excitement.
It was a marginal, and he played the way he played at Virginia Tech.
Right.
So when you have that type of, and obviously, right, it's the reason why Mike Tyson is so highly regarded and so well thought of, is because stylistically, the way that he fought. Was Mike Tyson a great champion? I say no. He didn't beat. I mean, give me one great champion that he actually beat, especially in their prime. And okay, I'll concede, but Mike Tyson never beat anybody great. I mean, when he fought Evander Holyfield, he freaked out. When he fought Lennox Lewis, he got whooped. And I think that as much as people think that he was a great champion, I believe knockouts are easy to process, right? Oh, he knocked his ass out. Oh wow, that must have been, he's so great. And then his charisma. Well, you take Michael Vick the same way. When the play breaks down and Mike takes off for 40 yards for a touchdown, or creates a new pocket, goes back, Tecmo Bowl style,
right?
And then, throws a, 70-yard touchdown. That's very it makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. And those are indelible moments on the city's mind, right? In their hearts. Like, they don't go away. I remember, when he ran in overtime, when he went around the left side against Minnesota, scored the touchdown, because back then you go in with a field goal.
Right.
Ran it all the way in, touchdown, and then to go straight for the tunnel.
Right.
I mean, those are moments, and Matt Ryan never had a moment like that. But what he had was touchdowns and wins. But when you are replacing such a great entertainer, it's hard. It's hard, particularly in a city that is so urban. It's hard to come behind that.
If you own the team, would you draft Malik Willis because you knew that it would ring off for the family?
Yes. Because the thing, if there's
Trevor, you guys are at 6.
If there's Trevor Lawrence in the draft, no,
I'm saying in this draft,
right? But what I'm saying
you
is
own
in
the
this
team.
draft, yes, heck yes,
you're taking them at 6
yes,
or 7.
I would have taken Justin Fields, and I didn't even like Justin Fields coming out of Ohio State. Yes, absolutely.
But he's from here, but he's not of here.
No, he's Kennesaw.
Yeah,
and he.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
He's not going to, there's a Malik Willis.
Yeah, and his name's Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Malik. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great here.
Let me ask you this, because we're obviously not going to get into as much detail.
Boy, Malik, here come Malik. And here's another thing about Malik Willis that's great, is that he wouldn't be sitting behind anybody that,
he couldn't beat out.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota. I mean, so there's nobody.
Yeah, Marcus is pretty pedestrian.
Well, the point that I'm making, though, is Mike was behind at least a Super Bowl, Pro Bowl quarterback and Chris Chandler. He only sat behind him one season. So there's not going to be this, he can come right in.
Yeah.
And after maybe like 5 or 6 games, provided that, Marcus isn't, doesn't surprise anyone.
Yeah.
And come in and there's not going to be this great expectation is what I'm saying. He can mess up.
Because you guys are in a full rebuild.
Yes.
Yeah. No, listen, it's
the term we use loosely because I'm not with the Falcons yet. They draft Malik.
I'll say just on balance, I don't see any I don't think he's a first round talent. I don't even think he's a second round talent. And that's not that I don't like him. It's just I'm saying how you value the draft versus other positions.
Yeah.
Like if part of your strategy is best player on the board, get somebody on your team that can help you win football games now and 3 years from now. You don't get to any of these quarterbacks. I think Pickett, has the potential of surprising you in the way that Russ did, but you don't overdraft him. You draft a Pickett or a Willis where you drafted a Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't like the way his hair sticks out the helmet. Like, I don't know what that is. Why is your hair
that has nothing to do with how you
like you like a fake ass Elway. And then just looking at his numbers, like the most touchdowns he threw before last year was 13 and 9. He had 1 year where he blew the doors off.
Yeah.
And then it was
that never stopped Trubisky.
And it was in the ACC.
That didn't stop Mitch Trubisky.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and he did it in the ACC.
So then the point that I'm making is underscored by your experience.
But what I'm saying is, if you gave me Mitch Trubisky in the 3rd or 4th round,
that's different.
I'm sitting here going, yeah, man, he's not a bad player.
That's different, but we're not.
But when we're trading up to the number 2 hole to get him, that's one of my biggest issue. And then
this is a guy who has started 3 years.
Yeah.
Pickett.
Yeah.
In the ACC.
Mitch was in the ACC and only started 1 year.
He threw 12 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, another 13, and then 42.
Yeah.
That's just I don't like that. And then on to back, it was 12 touchdowns, 7 picks, and he followed up those other 2 years with 9 picks.
Yeah.
13 and 9. Like, and then the offense was like a run and shoot, fun and gun offense, and you only throwing 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't like late bloomers. Not to say that late bloomers can't figure it out, but I don't like guys that only showed 1 year in college. And
I don't want to root for
that was Trubisky.
Like Kenny Pickett. Like,
well, no, I don't think y'all.
I want Malik.
I don't think you guys have any worry about getting Kenny Pickett. All I'm saying is every team should.
You don't know the Falcons.
Every team should let that go by.
They'll trade up.
Let's talk a little bit about defensive ends before we get out of here. There's a guy, a lot of conversation about Trayvon. Your guy, Trayvon Edwards from Georgia.
Yeah. Yes.
Am I saying his name right? Is it Trayvon?
I believe so. Yeah. Trayvon. I mean, look, this is Trayvon.
So he's moving up the board like crazy because he's an athletic freak. I think he's 6'4", 6'5", 275, workout warrior. Only 5 sacks. 10 sacks in his career. He had 5 his freshman year, 1 his sophomore year, then 5 his junior year. Came out early. Obviously, great player, part of a great defense. I'm always worried about defensive ends that move up because of workouts and not production. Like, I think about the Mike Mamulas of the world that came in. Not that Mike Mamula was a bad player.
I think he had 10 sacks one year.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad player, but he never.
But he was the combine guy.
Yeah, combine workout warrior. Yeah. Did amazing. But then you have other guys that are falling, like what's his name, Thibodeau in Oregon, who did produce when he played. What's your take on production versus guys? I don't like guys that are moving up when it ain't been no games played.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like nothing's happened since December or January, but you got guys improving. That's always weird to me. What is your take on that when it comes to drafting?
I mean, I like to see it, right? So when we were, I like to see what? I like to see production, because maybe it's just the layman in me, but you take a guy like Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley had, I believe, 6 interceptions in 3 seasons, like 6. And this is a league. You playing against Alabama, who throws the ball all over the place, and the Auburns of the world, who had bad quarterbacks with the Knicks kid, so you've got all these guys. I mean, they throw the ball around here, and you only got 6 interceptions.
What's his PBUs though?
Oh, pass breakups. I don't know, but 2.8.
Because he just might have bad hands.
But then 2.8 yards average per return. That shows a severe lack of get somewhere. And so for me, I like to see. We want to flip it in reverse. You go look at Deion. Deion had 14 interceptions over his 4 seasons, and he didn't play a whole lot his freshman year. and he averaged 20 yards every interception.
Yeah.
20 yards, and he had, I believe, six touchdowns. So you're talking, I know that's one of the best of all time.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, you would like to see a guy, whether it's Trayvon, whether it's Derek Stingley, you would like to see a guy who's going up against the competition. Most of those guys, they're not going to play on Sunday. And you would like to see them to be a little bit, or some level of dominance.
He's falling. I mean, or at least this way, it's a mixed bag. It wouldn't surprise me if he fell because some people like him and some people don't.
But you asked me how I feel about the production.
You favor production that you can see.
Well, yes, because you're playing against mostly guys who aren't going to be around on Sunday.
Right.
So if you're going to be a difference maker, if you're going to be one of those guys, then there should be some level of real, true dominance when you take the field. You take a guy like Jamison Williams from Alabama, right? Dominant.
Yeah,
like you don't have to project.
And he's got he's coming off of ACL, and they still many mock drafts still have him as the first or second receiver coming.
Yeah,
between him and Garrett Wilson.
And then so it's like, okay, you don't have to basically visualize or like how is this gonna you're at least seeing him going up against what quote unquote the best competition in the country in the SEC, some of the best corners, Derek Stingley, and you saw him go up against Sauce. Sauce, that name
from Cincinnati.
You could be like, man, a guy coming back. We think about drafting Sauce. I don't care what position.
Yeah,
he's a long snapper. Sauce. What else can he do?
Hey, that's funny.
I love Sauce. And his first name is Ahmad, so that's a black first name. So I'm winning with every his government name and his nickname.
And his nickname. Yeah, like. Like I said, this is an interesting draft because you don't really know what teams are going to do. They haven't really, because there's no we're taking Trevor with, we knew when Jacksonville just kept losing, they were tanking for Trevor. Like, there was no question. Trevor was going to be the first pick, whether he came out freshman year, sophomore year, or junior year. So it's just a matter of who got that pick.
Sure.
So, but this time it's like, where's Jacksonville going to go? And I really hate the fact that they just seem like they pick at the top all the time.
All the time.
They're always at or near the top. Then you got Detroit right after them. I don't know what they're going to do. Giants have 2 picks in the top 10.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they have the Bears pick, the Justin Fields pick.
Oh.
Because effectively, and this is the part that I can't be mad at the Bears with, is that this was a terrible quarterback draft. So if you felt like your answer was in last year's draft, just go up and get your guy because he's certainly in this.
Well, yeah, basically, if you have a plan, go ahead and execute it.
Yeah, go ahead and execute it.
Yeah, don't be tepid about it. You like a guy, go get it. If you miss, you miss. But at least you got your guy. Exactly. What you don't want to do is want a guy and hold your cards close to the vest and don't play him, and then somebody else gets your guy, and then your guy turns out.
Or don't look to the future because you got to, if you're a good GM, you're looking at this class going, there's no answer in this class.
Right.
There's answers in the next class, but there ain't no answers in this class.
Well, you can't be afraid to be wrong.
Yeah.
You just got to just go for it.
And that's exactly right. I actually of the belief that if you make a mistake, and we did drafting Trubisky, the worst thing you could have done was re-up him on a prove-it deal or whatever, or we'll give you a small deal, and now you've devoted 3 more years of not going after your guy. I don't know if Justin Fields is ultimately going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'll just give me 10 years of solid play, which is something that we've never had in Chicago.
Or just something different, right?
Yeah.
So,
but you got to keep throwing the dice until you get your guy.
And your feeling in your your approach was, I had the same approach to the Falcons in the draft last year. We had Matt Ryan, but I was just feeling like, not that Matt couldn't get it done. I felt like his time here was over, and he needed to be someplace where they can appreciate him and protect him, and hopefully he goes to the Colts and maybe they can win a Super Bowl. But I felt the energy infusion of a new young quarterback like a Justin Fields would have been great for the city. Now, obviously they took Pitts, but hopefully this year they'll do something similar to that. But you just want something. Just give me something else.
Yeah.
Something else. Now, your feeling about Trubisky, obviously my feeling about Ryan are two totally different. And I believe they're well rooted in reason.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I felt.
Is there anybody in this draft that they're not talking about that you think is gonna pop up one day? Because there's always a guy that you think is gonna be good.
Well, I mean, that
we're not thinking is gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
I mean, there's one kid out of University of Texas San Antonio, Tariq Wooten. He's projected to go in the second round. First of all, again, Tariq.
Yeah. Tyreeks are usually fast and good.
So runs a 4.27.
Okay.
42-inch vert. His kid's 6'4", plays cornerback. I mean,
really?
Yeah. He only played 2 seasons. So I think if there was a guy who at least had the measurables, Tariq Wooten is a guy that
6'4" corner.
Yeah, 6'4".
That's insane.
Yeah, 6'4". Well, Sauce is like 6'3". Yeah. So Sauce, I just like saying Sauce. I mean, God.
Is there anybody that you got?
Don't get lost in the sauce. That's what he's telling the receivers. Oh, he got lost in the sauce. Pick 6.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody you think has first round bust on him?
Kenny Pickett.
I'm talking about like nobody thinks Kenny Pickett's gonna be great. I'm talking about somebody that everybody thinks is gonna be good. Does anybody jump out? I mean, sometimes somebody's gonna bust. We just don't know.
You know who I think a bust, and I don't want him to bust because of his first name, Drake London, out of USC.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Is it a legitimate reason, or are you gonna say because he's like?
No. The reason why I think he could win is because his name's Drake. All right, so I like Drake London.
But why do you think he can? Why do you think he has?
I don't
potential?
like a guy who he had his own personal pro day. He skipped the 40 and he skipped the bench press, and he reminded me a little bit.
You don't like his trait.
I don't like that, and I don't like. He feels a little bit like you remember Mike Williams, the receiver that came out of there a few years ago. Not a few years ago.
A long time ago. Yeah,
10 years ago. It feels a little bit like that. I mean, he put up crazy numbers.
He's an athletic freak. Though.
But I mean, I like guys like Jordan Davis runs the 40, did the bench press. I like guys who show up and like I want to compete every single time. And he had his own personal pro day because he had a hamstring injury.
Yeah,
and he elected not to run the 40, and he elected not to do the bench press. And I just was kind of like, And then obviously you're playing not against the toughest competition out there in the Pac-12. So. That just it made my eyebrows raise a little bit.
No, yeah, I don't like that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like that. I like guys that come in. I don't care what we doing. We doing?
Let's go.
Well, we compete. We shooting free throws.
And we're talking about like I don't care who here. It could be just me and you. Oh, you think you faster than me? Like just that old playground. Like, well, come on, mark it up.
No, I remember. I don't know if you saw the rookie sort of. They did like a rookie show that was kind of like the documentary style thing that they have on HBO.
Yeah, they follow the rookies.
The rookies, whatever. And they had Micah Parsons was training with Justin Fields, a couple other guys, and these fools is out here racing. Like for no reason, no clocks, no nothing. Just I'm faster than you. Like they were like in the street.
Yes.
And Micah Parsons beat Justin Fields.
Wow.
It was close, but he beat him. Wow. Like, that's a fast athlete. Wow. And Justin was like, you ain't gonna beat me. You know what I mean? Like,
and I like that about Justin.
Yeah.
I like that.
They lined it up.
Yeah, fastest man, you just hold your hand out.
Hold your hand out. Like, it was basically that. Like, standing there like that. Like, it was like, I like that. I want to see guys compete. I want guys that want to compete.
And the dude and how they start the races was one dude on the side going, "You mark."
Yeah.
Get set.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that about Drake London. I didn't know that little tidbit. That definitely that loses points for me because what you're saying is the money's important. You're putting the money above the play. Now I'm all about get your money, but go out and earn it.
Well, and
because if you're Dion, if you're a dog, you're like, I'm not gonna do nothing but make money by running.
Right.
I'm not gonna do nothing but make money by lifting these weights.
Yes.
Now you're just basically saying y'all think I'm great. And I don't want to do anything to change your mind.
Yeah.
That means you worried about you trying to hold on to something. I don't like that.
Yeah, and so that's what, for me, like, so because normally, okay, if you don't run or you don't lift at the combine, that's one thing. But to have your own personal pro day, because it wasn't a USC pro day, he had his own because of the hamstring injury. You generally, I'm about to show y'all.
Yeah,
like, I'm about to show you what you've been waiting for.
Yeah,
I'm going
to put a show on.
Yes, because you got access to the top flight facilities,
trainers, speed coaches,
science, diet. Yes. There's nothing that you don't have when you're projected to go top 10. So, or in the first round, and for that to have taken, it just made me just go, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'll say this before we close.
What you scared of, bro?
I know, right? I'll say this before we close. I missed the days of the draft being on a long Saturday. It was like a tradition that I had where that first day on a Saturday would be 14, 15 hours in front of the TV.
Sure.
And then the second day was 14, 15 hours in front of the TV. And I would watch 30 some odd hours.
We used to have
draft.
the parties, right?
Yeah, we used to have the party for the first day.
The team that...
Yeah. Whoever had the worst record had to host the party.
Whoever NFL team had the worst record.
Yeah, had to host a party. And it was all day thing. And now and much to the NFL's credit, they've created this like red carpet event. On a Thursday night, you get the first round, and a Friday night, you get second and third, and then the Saturday is like the day for the weirdos like us that are interested in the guy from San Antonio, Tariq Wooten.
UTSA.
Shout out to him. I want to shout out to my Notre Dame guys, Kyle Hamilton, who will be a first-round pick, and then I think wherever Kyron Williams falls to as a running back, obviously there's not a premium on running backs, and he didn't run well, but wherever he goes, I think he's going to do well. And in Austin, Kevin Austin is a talent. He should have stayed, but he's a real talent. So I expect him in 5th or 6th round. I think they get a good player. So good luck to all my Notre Dame guys, and I'm sure you feel the same about your Bulldogs.
Good luck to everybody black.
And you got the. You got.
That's all I got.
That's all he's got.
All my Tyreeks, all my Maliks, Ahmad, Sauce, everybody black. That's been through some shit.
And there you have it. Well, listen, man, I'm gonna close this up at this moment, but like always, please check in with our social media, which is at Statlines Matter everywhere, and definitely listen to our audio on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and subscribe, like, and get the notifications right here on our YouTube channel, and tell your friends. Please do that. So without any further discussion, on behalf of my wonderful, black-oriented, pro-black partner, Rob Hunter. I am Mark E. Stewart, and this is Statlines Matter.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.